Hello, people. It is Thursday, September 18th, 7:20 p.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. It feels kind of odd not to be saying Hawaiian Standard Time, but I'm in the Eastern Standard Time, and I'm very, very happy to be here. This morning, I listened to an interview by Luke Gromen, which I am going to link in the description below. But beware, like it could challenge a lot of your beliefs. Maybe one of your beliefs, maybe some, maybe none. I'm not sure, but I was listening to it and I want to say I felt challenged, but I felt mentally alert. I became more mentally alert. It felt like, and it also felt like my awareness expanded less expanded in the sense of I began factoring in more possibilities in the trading and investing landscape. And when I say that, I'm saying that I think in a very toned down way. Again, like don't watch this if you are going to argue with your computer, myself. You definitely don't have to argue with me. It's Luke Gromen saying it, not me or Luke Gromen. But I'm gonna put a link to that in there, and I'm also gonna put another link to an interview to the current Macro Voices episode with Louis-Vincent Gav, however that's pronounced, and that one also for people that live in America. Uh, you might find it a little bit challenging, so don't listen to it if you don't want your beliefs and your opinions to be challenged. Maybe it won't be. I really don't know, but there seems to be some things happening in the world that are indicating that change is here and or is here and is progressing. So for me personally, I think the greater scope of awareness I can have about things, and not just have the scope, but take the scope of awareness with me, specifically when I'm sitting in front of my computer analyzing trades. And sometimes I'm not sitting in front of a computer, I'm just out doing something, and an idea might come to me. I'm sure that happens to you too. So the more we can widen our scope of awareness to all types of different things, definitely outside of where we grew up and where we're living, I think that even contrary to Instagram and social media, where it seems like everybody's traveling the world all the time, I don't think that's the norm for most people. And I think there's a good chance that someone that might be able to take value from this video is more in the not in the global trotting world. So how do you expand your view of the world without necessarily flying somewhere? Because honestly, I think when a lot of people fly somewhere, they're doing kind of this normal vacation stuff. They're probably not taking a Doug Casey approach and meeting with with attorneys and trying to have dinner with the president of a third world country or anything like that. If you're not familiar with Doug Casey's escapades, look into it yourself and see if you think most people are traveling like that, or if you go on vacation, if that's how you're traveling around learning about the world. But how can you get outside of where you're at? I One thing that I feel very grateful for is living in Hawaii for 25 years. I was really exposed to a lot of different ethnicities and cultures, and that was good. But that was kind of on this basic superficial level. I think listening to the interviews of people that in the arena of trading and investing and macroeconomics that I would consider them to be way more informed, smart, whatever word that is appropriate for that. I think listening to those people and listening to them from a perspective of neutral and just taking the information in versus a right or wrong. If you listen and you find yourself saying, I agree, I disagree while you're listening, that's probably not the best way to widen your scope. You know, maybe for a certain amount of time while you're listening, you suspend any of your beliefs and you just remain neutral and take in the information. And then once it's completely done, think about what is it that this person was saying? What is it this person believes? If these things were to be true, then what would that indicate for whatever my investments are or things like this? But it does really appear, whether I like it or not, and I don't particularly like it. I'm not a particular fan of this, but it does appear that we are in a significant period of change in the US. And if we're in a significant period of change in the US, it would seem to stand to reason that the investment landscape could also be in a significant period of change somehow. Maybe not. I don't really know. But I want to set my portfolio up in a way that if there are changes, I have enough flexibility in my positions and in my trading strategies that I'm able to weather storms. So learning how to adjust trades, learning how to hedge, learning how to have defensive positions. There's a variety of things. And overall, if you're completely just learning, I recommend sticking with simple, basic things and consider lowering your monthly expenses. See you guys later.